¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo estamos? Vamos para allá con el juego secreto. Estaba todo preparado, todo listo, todo pensado. Para hacer tiempo, tenemos que jugar a tremendo juegazo. Estaba todo pensado. Yo creo que nos da tiempo antes del día 20. También digo, el día 20 no sé si tendré Game Pass porque se me acaba pasado mañana. Pero hay que jugar a este juego antes de que salga Metal Gear Delta. Que va a ser... O sea, me lo voy a... Así. Me lo voy a fumar como un señor. Así que yo creo que lo suyo es que le demos a este también. Era un poco el jueguito secreto. Así que, bueno, vamos a ver qué hacemos. En este jueguito vamos a ver si nos lo pasamos antes del día 20. Yo creo que sí. Lo vamos a disfrutar mucho. Así que vamos a darle. Nueva partida. Vale, a ver, importante. Si eliges esto está gracioso. Si eliges esta opción, te dan más la turra por el audio, en plan por el codec, y es como que tienes más tutoriales. Si le das a esta, tienes más resistencia. O sea, puedes correr más o lo que sea. Si le das a esta, tienes una máscara de Raiden. Y si le das a esta, tienes más camuflajes. Entonces no sé qué pillar. Es interdusting. Camuflajes molan, pero creo que te aumentaban la dificultad. No lo sé. Pero venga, vamos para allá. Normal. Lo de mola extremo normal y extremo europeo. Al final de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, el mundo estaba dividido. ¿Cómo estoy, madre mía? Ya no sé ni leer, macho. Tenía mucha ganita. Mira, lo tengo aquí guardado de la época. Guardadito de la época. 30 pavos me costó. Ahí lo tenía guardado. Creo que fue de los últimos juegos que compré en game en la época.
Altitude 30,000 feet. Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check.
Esta presentación es historia de los videojuegos, hijos míos.
All right. You ready to go? Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay. Good. We've got high visibility.
Historia de los videojuegos. No os digo más.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
Ponte la máscara. Y está el otro como diciendo... La polla.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf? He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Bueno, pues la apago. Un habano ahí. Que vea bien.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
Qué momento,
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Historia de los videojuegos, niños. Vamos a ver hoy.
Sunrise.
Musicote más épico, por favor.
External temperature minus 46
Gordísima me la pone. Madre mía.
2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
This is one for the history books. The world's
El primer
first
salto a
Halo
Halo. Mira, venimos de Halo. Sorpresa.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spread your wings and fly. God be with you.
Tremendo monstruo. Dirigido por Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima, ¿eh? Cuando no hacía simuladores de andar.
The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized.
Virtuosa.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
La primera prueba.
Get cocky, this isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Como me flipa la voz de este señor.
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
El mismo.
On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight,
Son imágenes de verdad.
Sokolov left rocket
Pero el
development
lanzamiento.
to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want
No,
to defect?
evidentemente, pero.
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent.
Estaba hecho polvo el hombre.
And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Efectivamente.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff.
Es que es buenísimo, o sea,
Finally, on October the 28th,
tremendo documental que os estoy haciendo tragar,
remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a
mola mucho
nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time.
Saliendo los planos de fondo, fotos guapos. Yo sé lo que es, evidentemente, y todos los que hayáis jugado sabéis lo que es. Desde este ángulo se ve claramente, pero...
The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight.
Pobrecillo, en realidad, ¿eh?
Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently,
ya sabéis cómo son los videojuegos de Kojima, que son de hablar fuerte.
This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Y volvemos a caída con el avión. Momentazo de Picasso.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selinoyarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west.
Ya sale al revés. Joder, se abre el paracaídas.
Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
Ahí está.
Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point.
Puedes verlo en primera persona.
The balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
O sea, teoría, eso sale en el Ace Combat. En el Assault Horizon que jugamos.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
Te suelta un globo y te recogen con el avión. Una fumada, la verdad, pero...
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Básicamente.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Es lo que va a pasar, evidentemente. Aparcado. Un grande Jack. Metal Gear Solid de Snake Eater ahí en el casco escrito. Historia, señores. Snake. Historia de los videojuegos.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to
Quizás
each
nombres
other.
en clave. Sabemos que es
Your
yo, o
code
sea
name
que
for this
es
mission
Jack.
will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever
Serpientes.
order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of
Básicamente, pues
infiltration
eso.
is the Fox unit's
Juego de
specialty.
infiltración.
In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
Te corta la
I see.
llamada.
Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree
Tutorial.
that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85.
4085.
I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Vamos para allá. Bienvenidos a Snake Eater. Estoy mirando los controles. Vale, y el botón de acción, amigo. Más fren. Me encanta, porque como pulsa el botón de acción. Ah, es el I. Perfecto. Tenemos raciones.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's
Clásica o
right.
inventario.
Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop.
Puedes ver otras fotos
If your
de...
stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's
Sach,
right.
papi.
It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire.
Esa es otra
Once
cosa
its
interesante.
durability reaches zero, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get
Es
too
una
trigger
putada
happy with
enorme,
it.
por cierto.
The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're
Y
carrying
no se
now,
rompen las armas, pero
you'll
se
have to
rompen los
find as you
silenciadores.
go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare.
Ah, es que es una
There aren't
putada, no
supposed to
pueden
be
dejar
any
ninguna
American
huella
soldiers
justamente
in
por eso.
Russia. It
Porque se
could
puede
spark
liar
an
parda
international
en
incident.
Rusia.
You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
La cápsula de cianuro
Use
por
it
si
if
te
you're
quieres
taken
suicidar.
prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance.
A la de
The
guardar
first member of the
partida.
support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to
Claro,
speak,
que la médico.
as well as recording your mission data. She's a member
Pues-
of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm
En el
paramedic.
helicóptero.
Nice to meet you.
Para un avión.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name.
Jaja.
What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data.
Bueno,
Whenever
le
you
llamas por
want to
teléfono y te guarda
save,
partida.
send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I
28
want to
años tiene la
introduce
colega.
you to,
Y
Snake.
este 55.
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
Pues es la
Talk
la
to me.
mentora de Jack.
Let me hear your
Bueno,
voice.
de Snake.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that
Nacionalidad
supposed to mean?
estadounidense, pero lo demás
Why'd you
todo
disappear on me all of a
no
sudden?
se sabe.
I was on a top secret mission.
Hmm.
You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could.
Momento maestra-alumno,
The rest
con el
you needed
alumno
to
un poco
learn on
picado.
your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier.
Tremenda
Right and
chapa
wrong
que pega,
have
la
no
colega.
place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president
Hay
and the top
rencor
brass
en
won't be there
sus
forever.
frases.
Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have
Acaba de dar por
loyalty to
culo lo
the
que le ha
end,
dicho.
there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake,
Pobrecillo.
you were always best
Snake,
at
eh?
urban warfare and infiltrating buildings.
Se nota que hay
But this is
rencor
the
en
jungle.
el audio.
Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember.
Básicamente le das
After
botón y
all,
pega
this is your
puñetazos. Ya
first
está, no tiene
actual
más.
survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Entregan a Sokolov para que no se líe parda en Cuba y ahora tenemos que ir a buscarle otra vez.
Snake,
Como tronco,
try
paso
to
cojones.
remember some of the basics of CQC.
Esa. Grande Snake.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Momentazo. Vale, vamos a ver. Mochila. ¿Qué tenemos? En armas. Micrófono direccional para escuchar a distancia. Esta de silenciador y el cuchillo. Y en el otro lado tenemos prismáticos, la píldora resucitadora, con la pastilla de muerte. Puro prismáticos, detector de movimiento, son activos, sensor antipersonal. Y en camuflaje. También qué guay. Tenemos ya desbloqueado las cosas. Y le podemos poner de Españita. Snake Españita, vamos para allá. No te da. Mira, ser de Italia te da más 5 de camuflaje en el bosque. Vamos a pintarnos bosque. Desnudo te da menos 10. A más 30. Vale, esto era una mierda. Matamos una serpiente, ¿puedo quedármelo? Una pantanosa. Apuntar en este juego es una puta mierda. O sea, hay que darle a 2 botones. Para que me entendáis. Pega un mordisco. Está fuerte. Voy a poder con él, ¿eh? Me va a matar aquí. Se puede matar, ¿eh? O sea, no... Se pueden matar, pero no sé ahora mismo cómo matarle. Chila. Comida. Como serpiente. Acabamos de sacar un este. Básicamente tenemos 3 jaulas vacías. Y la movida esta. Vale, podríamos haber cogido la llamada para que nos explicasen, oye, que te vas a morir. Eres tontísimo. Quiero saber cómo se recarga en este pueblo. Se recarga cuando te quedas sin balas. No recordaba tan mal de controles, ¿eh? No lo recordaba tan mal de controles. Es que no me tenía que haber parado con el cocodrilo, pero bueno, está gracioso. Y aquí puedes verlo. Puedes ver la imagen desde fuera o desde dentro.
Two enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Pues eso, hay que ir con sigilo.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to
No puedo
sneak
hacerle
through the
nada,
jungle without
literalmente.
being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the
Ya es tarde,
Survival
cariño.
Viewer.
Ya me lo he cambiado.
The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed.
Básicamente, es como que no corras, tonto, que eres muy tonto.
You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa.
Ahora
The
vamos
key
muy
is to
bien.
make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Esto luego lo tuvo Metal Gear 4 con el traje que cambiaba de color automáticamente. Eso estaba todo guapo. Repelente. %90 de camuflaje, ¿eh? Fuimos. No fuimos. Momento de infiltración. Espera que se dé la vuelta. Tenemos otro ahí arriba. Vamos a pasar a esas que están ahí enfrente y de ahí pasamos a la otra. Bueno, espérate. Claro. Si se van a juntar, pues no voy a ningún lado.
What was that?
Un pájaro, ha sido un pájaro, hombre.
Nothing here.
Ha sido un pájaro.
What was that? Nothing here.
Vete para allá, anda, bonito. Que viene tu colega y no quiero que me vea, ¿sabes? Podríamos ir. No sé si me va a dar tiempo antes de que se gire. Yo sí, me da tiempo. Vale. A esperar a que se vaya este. El tonto este. Que tenemos un mapa también. ¿Sabes? Por ahí abajo no hemos ido. ¿Qué acaba de hacer? Vamos marcha atrás. El puente, qué mítico.
I hear something. Huh? I hear something. There's nothing here.
Mola porque, en teoría... Bueno, estos son coleccionables, por cierto. En teoría, las avispas tenía que haberle hecho algo, pero ha sudado los huevos. Date la vuelta, bonito, anda. Date la vuelta, bonito. Ya viene tu colega encima. Mientras miren para acá no puedo hacer nada, tío. Esta parte la recuerdo regulera. Vamos a ver si podemos hacer un poco de giro aquí. Mágico. ¿Ves? Es que el panal les tenía que haber caído. Y haberles asustado o alguna... No me acuerdo qué era. Y no lo que acaba de pasar. Vale, soy gilipollas.
He's here. HQ respond.
This is HQ. What's going on? Respond. There's something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
Ya, tío. Que cuando le das al botón clic, dispara. Entonces, al no ver la pistola antes... Ah, están dormiditos y ya está, no pasa nada.
What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?
Madre mía. El francotiratrol. Creo que podía hacer algo con los cuerpos. Vale, creo que eso no tenía que pasar. Y creo que eso tampoco tendría que pasar. Perfecto. Grande Snake. O no. Ahora estamos desde aquí. Me va mazo los controles, tú. Mazo. En teoría, se podía hacer algo con ellos. En teoría. Y digo en teoría porque no me está dejando. No me está dejando. Vamos a ver un segundo. A ver si hay alguna sección de controles. Mira en la caja. Yo, o sea, si mal no recuerdo, sí que se podía. Snake Eater, vale. Aquí. Pues misterio. Adiós. Adiós. Tremendo puente. Creo que me puedo acercar a la espalda y pillarle, pero no lo tengo tan claro.
Something there? Huh? Who was that? Who's that? Come in, HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. And
What's going on? Respond. There's something wrong.
Hemos liado mazo. ¿Qué pasa, Cido? ¿El nuevo Dragon's Dogma 2, rarete? No, no, la verdad que no. No es Dragon's Dogma, ¿no? Estoy aquí liándola un poco. Estoy aquí liándome mazo con los controles. No sé si voy a seguir con Snake Eater. Lo han matado, tío. Cojones. Lo recordaba mucho mejor de controles, la verdad. Me van a deletear. Es acostumbrarse, no, escúchame. Están muy mal los controles, Muy mal, tío. Muy mal. Pero bueno. Pasa, Paloma, ¿cómo estamos?
Alguien ha regalado
Paloma,
una suscripción.
¿te ha regalado una sub?
Lástima.
¿Ha sido? ¡Qué
Otro que se
grande!
libra de los anuncios.
Tremenda sub de Paloma. Vámonos. Pues lo que decía, los controles son una puta mierda. Se juega mucho mejor en 3DS que en Xbox, tío. Se juega mucho mejor en 3DS que en Xbox. Madre mía. No, escucha, de verdad, De verdad. Y eso que es la HD Collection de Xbox 360, pero los controles son la mierda.
Is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful.
Y como se me termina mañana el Game Pass, pues no puedo empezar nada de Game Pass, ¿sabes? Entonces, bueno. Esperaremos a ver si para el 20 tengo Game Pass para hacer Stalker 2.
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov,
Pero, y espero que Delta tenga mejores controles, porque madre mía.
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
El Kojima ha hecho muchas cosas bien, pero lo que son los controles no. Ya te lo digo. El Stalker, que es tipo Fallout. A ver, en primera persona es. Pero es más. Como te digo, al menos los tres primeros, ¿vale? Shooter primera persona de medio terror. Medio trama posapocalíptica. Con movidas de fantasía, ciencia ficción. En plan, la radiación ha creado en un sitio concreto un objeto que altera la gravedad. Y entonces tienes que meterte dentro y cogerlo, o sea, cosas así. O la radiación ha hecho que unos bichos se conviertan en monstruos y te los cruzas por el camino y unos son invisibles y te joden, ¿sabes? O sea, es como supervivencia chunga. Le tengo muchas ganas al 2, la verdad. El 1 está guapo, o sea, está viejo. La primera expansión del 1 está guapa. Y la expansión de Call of Pripyat, que es la tercera expansión, por decirlo así, es el pollote, muchacho. El pollote. Señor, váyase usted a la mierda, por ejemplo. Luego. Voy a jugar la tía Vax a ver qué tal es. Pues sí, porque Vax también va a jugar. Una serpiente. Me encantaría que lo del cuchillo funcionase, tronco. Sería espectacular. Lo de dar una estocada con el cuchillo, tío, no funciona. Me ha visto desde ahí atrás. No te rayes, mátame, tronco, mátame. No, no te rayes, no te rayes. Snake, para. Mátame, mátame. No sabía que tenías YouTube, ya tienes un nuevo sub. Sí, tengo YouTube. Pues muchas gracias, señor. Mátame, ya, hombre. Madre mía. Venga, tronco. A hoy, ¿eh? Me los hago. No me quitan vida, tío. Soy inmortal. Qué fracaso, tío. Pues me ha visto desde atrás. O sea, ha sido girar el murito y me ha visto. O sea, no tiene sentido. No tiene puta lógica, ¿eh? Venga, no me jodas. Que me dejan desde aquí, tú. Con un 90% de camuflaje me han visto, ¿eh? Ese es el nivel. Voy a ver si... Ah, ¿por qué este ha pasado del arco? Aquí arriba no hay nadie. O sea, no me pueden ver. Me va a ver. ¿Cómo es que te ha picado jugar este ahora? A ver, lo tenía guardado para momentos como este, de hacer tiempo hasta el día 20. Era como el juego secreto. ¿Qué pasos, cabrón? Estoy escalando. Y era, ya digo, si es que lo estoy jugando por hacer tiempo hasta el día 20. O sea que... Toma la cabeza, monstruo. Voy a cambiar el camo. Pensaba que habías visto algún tráiler de nuevo remake y te había picado el gusanillo. Hace tiempo. Si estamos jugando a este porque quiero jugar al Delta. Y por tener un poco... Aquí no tengo camuflaje útil. Qué putada. Bueno, tigre desierto. Ya, un 80% con tigre desierto, ¿eh? No es coña. Es mucho camuflaje. Yo creo que a este, al figura este, le podíamos dar... Y aquí no se alerta a nadie. Ah, pues sí. Vale. Ahora sí. Aquí no ha pasado nada, hombre. Nada, nada, nada. Vale, creo que teníamos un sonar. Donde cabe uno, caben dos, no hay problema. Yo ya te digo que en su mayoría estoy jugando esto por jugar al Delta, que tengo unas ganas. Escúchame, locas. Vale. Y lo de amenazarle... Ah, puta mierda, tú. Lo de amenazarle con la pistola y tal, ¿qué pasa? ¿Que no funciona o qué? ¿No funciona? ¿No quiere funcionar? No lo entiendo. ¿Qué pasa, paloma? Me va a ver. Qué mal se apunta con esto la Virgen. Deja de dispararme ya, coño. Qué fácil está el stream. Y que no hay nadie. Que vayan entrando. Sí, no, desde luego. Ha sido, además, el de Halo Reach ha sido cortito con bugs, o sea que. No ha habido mucho donde jugar, la verdad. Pero bueno. A ver si entra alguien más. Venga. La primera frase que he oído ha sido puta mierda, sí.
Patrol here. We've lost sight of the enemy. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him.
Que en mi cabeza los controles eran mucho mejores. Mucho mejores. También eran otros tiempos. Pero bueno, es verdad que me tengo que acostumbrar. A ver, Sokolov. Deja de quemar cosas, anda. Ya digo, no estoy jugando otra cosa porque me quedo sin Game Pass mañana. Así que no he empezado nada de Game Pass. También tengo una lista de cositas en Game Pass para jugar. Y he decidido jugar esto pues porque, mira, pues lo tenía ahí pendiente.
I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
Your CIA?
¿Desde la CIA? Sí.
I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
Mírale, tío, está ahí con su traje, con su monóculo.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru.
De Gru, mi villano favorito.
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the army's extremist faction.
Y chapa de Kojima clásica.
Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities,
¿Cómo?
Khrushchev has managed to suppress
Que no le he probado.
opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost
El fan de Kojima de no, esto hay que jugarlo en la Play 2, si no.
A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize
Final del 4 sí que
by
luce.
rallying the anti-government forces,
Lucy que puso una peli literal. Bueno.
and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his
Bueno,
place.
o sea, déjame que termine esta cinemática y me pongo a hablar del Metal Gear 4.
He has control over
Por favor.
another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here
Este es el malo,
and use it
básicamente.
as leverage in his bid for power.
A lo que Snake responde, fue a qué movida, tronco.
The intelligence says that they are going to make their move
Está bueno.
during the test.
Bueno que sí, mucha turra. Compañero.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Básicamente
Good work,
te dice lo mismo
Snake.
otra
Now
vez.
hurry
Es que
up
me
and
acuerdo de
get
esa
Sokolov to
cinemática.
the
Era como,
recovery
tío, eres
point.
muy pesado.
We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Y un poquito de juego en su vídeo. Bueno, espera. Ahora que juguemos. No jugamos. Hay otro vídeo. Que mola porque me tengo que ir de infiltrado con el del Monopoly, ¿sabes? Con el logo del Monopoly me tengo que ir de infiltrado para sacarle en el avión. Ahora aparece Revolver Ocelot, creo. Y he flipado, ¿eh? ¿Ha visto Matrix? Te rompe la cabeza, ¿eh? Te hace así con las manos y te compra propiedades. Fíjate que cuando se quita la cinemática se mete en tu mochila, tal cual. Tal cual. Es un Pokémon, en realidad.
Freeze!
Ya está, se ha acabado Metal Gear aquí.
This is the legendary boss.
Revolver Ocelot.
We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. What's a Gru soldier doing here?
Soldier?
Es como
He's the Ocelot
la
commander.
Virgen, ¿eh?
That's major
Tiempo bala para
Ocelot's
ponerse una gorra.
and don't you forget it.
Aquí todavía se llama Ocelot, no se llama Revolver Ocelot. ¿Por qué no va con Revolver?
An Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Se le cae la gorra. Media hora para ponérsela y se le cae la gorra. Qué pelito, eh. Me he recordado a Oliver y Benji para recorrer el medio campo de fútbol en 5 capítulos, literal. Ya está. Acaba de hacer un cálculo de trayectorias de... no sé. Millones de ángulos de disparo y tal, pero bueno, disparo y golpea y muere. Ni Sogeking, no, este es Sogeking, literal. El que más ha aplastado la gorra, me cago en... Y estás tú ahí como... ¿me muero ya o...?
It feels good to kill a comrade. Even if it is for the Gru.
Sokolov, take cover.
¿Para qué? Si puede girar las balas. Este también tiene haki de observación. Pues mínimo, ¿eh? Mínimo tiene haki de observación.
You're not the boss, are you?
Ay, eso, no me acordaba de eso, por favor.
Alerta. Nuevo seguidor detectado.
Bedavils, bienvenido. No me acordaba de eso, tío. Dios mío.
If you're not the boss,
O te mato.
die.
Claro. Te ha atascado, monstruo. Corran.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
Dalo tranquilizante para ti. Lo que, o sea, en su momento lo veías y era como, guau, qué pasada. Pero es que ahora lo mismo lo estoy viendo y es como, tío, estoy viendo una pelea de octogenarios, Es como, pero cabrón, dispara, ¿qué haces? Más se le ha atascado la... Le ha atascado la pistola. Y ahí ahí Ocelot tuvo una revelación. Uy, estas armas se atascan.
I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very
Se
smart.
notan los años. Sí,
You
sí.
were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
Puñetazo. Colleja. Al suelo. Quiropráctico.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Hay que ver lo que cunde este morirse, Las cosas que le da tiempo de decir. No, hombre, no. Ocelot no puede morir. Y luego mola mucho, que se tira 10 minutos dándole vueltas a los revólveres. Déjale, déjale. Al final se han muerto todos con la tontería. Algunos se ha quedado tirado en plan de muero. Si yo me hago el dormido.
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according
Madre
to
mía.
Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's
Pues esto no es nada
supporters and
comparado con lo que
Volgans.
tiene el 4.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Es un corto comparado, no literal. O sea, me acuerdo. Metal Gear 4. Yo tumbado en la cama. Otacón friendo un huevo. Me dormí. Y cuando me desperté, literalmente, a los 26 minutos, la cinemática continuaba. O sea, es increíble el Metal Gear 4. Es como... Es una serie... Mira, coño, una M37. Tenemos otra pistola. Es una puta serie con gameplay de fondo. O sea... Es una locura. Y la parte final, literalmente es una peli. O sea, la parte final es cógete unas palomitas, macho, porque no vas a jugar. No te rayes. Es una serie que a veces juegas, literal. Literal. No, o sea, no suena... Perdón, suena a broma, pero no. Es totalmente cierto. Aquí había algo también, ¿no? Aquí debajo. Me ha fallado el recuerdo. Vamos a buscar a Zócalo. Aún así es un juegazo, aún así es un juegazo. Kojimada pura, totalmente. Yo, el momento que aparece Raiden y empieza a pegarse con el bailarín este, con Bump, y empiezan a darse de hostia. Bueno. Es una cosa loquísima. Está aquí porque le da miedo atravesar el puente. Hasta aquí llegan sus dominios del Monopoly. No puede cruzar un puente. A las de motricidad y coordinación manual como yo es lo ideal. Pues es que te lo digo. Te duermes, ¿eh? Con el puto tacón cocinando huevos. Un tanque. El demonio.
That's what they were making you build. Yes, the Shagohod, the treading behemoth, a tank capable of launching nuclear IRBM.
Monstruo bipedal. Sí.
That kind of terrain. Oh yes.
Un pedal le lleva al malo y otro lo llevaba a Kojima.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2.
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes.
Sí, porque no va a quedar Estados Unidos para hacerle de frente. Claro.
World War.
I had no choice but to
Después de una guerra mundial. Bueno. Había ganas de una tercera, ¿eh?
I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly.
Tienes papeles, monstruo.
They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Unas ganas locas, sí, totalmente. Y ahora la cruzamos el puente. Ah, creías que iba a jugar, ¿eh? Pues no. Hostia, qué alto está esto, muchachos. Hello there. Hola, soy de vos. ¿Cómo estamos? En Nake. De vos, que supuestamente estaba a tropecientos mil kilómetros en un submarino. Y ¡ah, sorpresa! Ahí va. Pues sí que pesa. Ahí va. Yo doblo al del Monopoly.
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Fumada. Ese es el de Naruto. ¿Cómo se llamaba? Chino. Que tenía insectos dentro. Con un hind, ¿sabes? Y no he escuchado en Neika el hind llegar. Que es como, pero cabrón. Puto troncho.
My friends, let us fight together again.
Chino.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more.
Está.
Welcome back,
Grande.
boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Está llorando, sí. Es una fumada, tronco. Uno que controla avispones. El otro que es un francotirador octogenario que tiene un loro. El otro es un fantasma. El otro se cree una araña. Es como, pero ¿qué os pasa en la puta cabeza, sabes? Y lo de que uno es un fantasma es literal, ¿sabes? Y este maneja la electricidad, o sea, es como... Me están metiendo en la historia de los misiles de Cuba y demás, y de repente los Power Rangers.
Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Pero la...
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Neil Ross.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union.
De repente vas a ser los X-Men, un poco, la verdad.
Recoilless nuclear warheads.
Bueno, pasan a ser los X-Men. La realidad es que pasa a ser Scooby-Doo. pero sí.
These will make a fine gift for me.
Y estos cabrones han llevado las bombas nucleares. Y lo llevan ahí a hombro, como, bah, no pesa nada.
Your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
Que sí, hombre, aprieta el gatillo. Ahí va, paneo. Está rota la colega, Eso duele. Aquí se lo explica el Snake, sí, se lo deja clarito, ¿eh?
We can't let him live.
Vamos, Raiden, ataca. Raiden, el del Mortal Kombat, y luego está el otro.
If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait.
Como poder es una puta mierda, ¿eh? Lo que hace. Lo de ponerse balas en las manos para dispararlas con la electricidad es como, tío. No me jodas, ¿sabes?
Jack, you can't come with us.
Con el brazo pocho. Venga, Jack. ¡Bim! Ahí va, la ha frenado a tiempo, ¿eh? Ha quitado la... Ha quitado la bandana. Tiene para disparar rayos y se pone en balas, se autoenerfea el tío, totalmente.
The new blood has been rejected. done here?
Now, on to Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Que me hace mucha gracia ese señor, porque es como muy cutre.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
Es como, es justamente eso, o sea, se autonerfea, me dice, joder, pues coge las balas y con la electricidad, yo que sé, hace así y las impulsa, rollo cañón de riel, cualquier movida. Pero tío, me las pongo en las manos, te doy un puñetazo y te disparo, dispárame directamente, que coges puñetazo. La lástima que no vamos a poder ver el chiste del viejo. Pero bueno. Bueno, hay dos chistes con el viejo. Con The End. ¿The End era?
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just
The End.
barely.
Hay dos
Snake,
chistes
listen
con
to
The
me.
End.
You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move?
Bueno, ya los comentaremos.
You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just
Me
relax.
mola porque como te pongo en contacto con la médico, ala, apáñatelas.
Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss.
Mola porque
She's defected.
como tranquilo que he visto gente en peores circunstancias. Es como, me lo estás diciendo mientras me hablas por radio. ¿Qué estarás viendo tú? Yo mismo estoy sin piernas aquí en la playa.
If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment.
O cuando llamas a tu compañía de teléfono por algo, te pasa este y luego te pasa con otro y así. Totalmente. Y eres mazo de turras, que me da igual. Hala, ya. Sí, me está diciendo cómo curarme, ya me lo has dicho una vez. Y si me quedo así... Ah, no me deja. Corte. Todavía no se ha desinfectado. Al resfriado, no. Está desinfectante. Y le vamos a poner una venda. Es que es la hostia. No tenemos más desinfectante. Profundo sangrado. Vamos a poner una sutura. Una sutura y una venda. No me deja. Y una estringe. Flipas, ¿eh? ¿No se ha desinfectado? Pues venga, te desinfecto. Y te vendo. Y te pongo una sutura y una estringe. Venga, va. Corte muy profundo, sangrado. No se ha colocado una venda, no se ha desinfectado. Desinfectamos. Suturamos, vendamos y estringe. Toma por culo. Hueso roto, no se ha colocado una venda. Tablilla y venda. Para tu casa. Corte profundo, sangrado. No se ha colocado una venda, no se ha desinfectado. Desinfectante, estringe esto y sutura para tu casa. Hueso roto, tablilla, venda. Y me levanto como patriota de The Voice, ¿sabes? Curado del todo ya de todo. Me he curado, mira. Tenía asma, pues me la he curado también. He hecho un cromo, literal. Mola porque se acaba de colocar el brazo. Entonces me está diciendo que todas las vendas que lleva en el cuerpo, incluida la que se ha puesto en el brazo que ha usado para colocarse el otro, se la ha puesto con el brazo roto. Está muy bien. Snake, eres un máquina. Ha sido Kojima, que ha bajado del árbol y le ha dicho, ven, ven aquí, hijo mío. Hijo mío, te remiendo. Tiene poderes a los psicomantis. Ojo, qué giro. Va a usar el... La bandana de The Boss. Lo podrás montar, mira, tío. Si me he podido curar de todo lo que me he curado, montar un globo lo hago, mira, con la chorra. Está mirando al infinito el Snake. ¿Cuántos Jaime quieres? Los tienen. Es como cuando te rompes un brazo en Harry Potter y puedes curar así de golpe de varita. Literal. Literal. Se te queda flácido, ¿no? Bueno, haces el hechizo mal. Te ha visto desde el helicóptero, ¿Qué daddy issues tiene? Bueno, ¿qué mommy issues tiene este señor, Muy jodidos, la verdad. Mamá te rechaza, Snake. Hazte fuerte. Tu madre no, es tu maestra. Pero es que tiene una dependencia emocional que flipas. Aquí está el Ocelot mirando la pistola en plan de que va a tener razón el colega ese. Y esa no todo, sí, literal. Ahí viene uno de los mejores momentos de los videojuegos.
Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear.
Se va a poner pintalabio, hombre. En la frente me hace un poco sacado de Masley, un poco, la verdad. Es de la KGB, coño, ¿no ves que va vestida de la... como tonta? A ver, no es muy lista, por eso de... me voy a poner el pintalabios delante tuyo, en tu cara.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Mola el juguetito, está guapo, parece... también te digo, parece un lanzapatatas. Momentos míticos de los videojuegos, Yo ahí lo dejo. Pues Sí, una pistola. Literal. Momento mitiquísimo. Me flipa, es de las cosas que más me molan de los Metal Gear. Y hasta aquí la guerra. Transición épica. Guarda datos, sí. Esto no estaba. He dicho transición épica. ¿Is? Ahí está. Y temazo, la Virgen. Qué opening digno de James Bond. Con 3 bombas de esas tranquilamente se acaba. Se pasa el juego el malo, tío. Hideo Kojima. Pues no lo había visto, ¿eh? Hideo Kojima. Tactical Espionaje Action. Hideo Kojima Solid 3. Ves James Bond en todas partes, no jodas. No puedes negarlo, Paloma. Mazo, cómo canta esta señora, por favor. Este es el final, ¿no? Es la presentación del juego. Todo lo que he hecho era el tutorial. Sí. A ver, no era el tutorial, pero entiéndeme. Era como la presentación. Han presentado los malos y demás, pues. Y llevas 2 horas. Hora y media, pero sí. Sí, por eso lo he puesto. Como me tiene que durar hasta el día 20. Ese es el plan. Yo pensaba que era el final. No, que va. El final es tremendo porro, pero está guapísimo. O al menos así lo recuerdo yo. Le di un vicio a este juego en 3DS, muchacho, no te lo crees. Le saqué todo, o sea, no me queda nada por desbloquear. Y ahora ya no me acuerdo de nada. Juegardo. A ver, tremendo musicote, la verdad es que sí. La verdad es que la banda sonora de los Metal Gear, mucho ojo, ¿eh? Mucho ojo porque son la hostia. En un lugar una semana después. En otro sitio diferente. Es James Bond, joder. A ver, la cosa es que es un homenaje, no es que sea James Bond. Tengo y he jugado a todos los Metal Gear menos los 2 primeros de NES. Pues vienen en este juego, los 2 primeros de NES. Y menos al de los zombies, he jugado a todos.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here.
Por cierto, esto es más adelante, tremendo guiño que hacen en Metal Gear Rising. ¿Alguien se acuerda de Metal Gear Rising lo que pasa? Esto es o sea, lo que le hacen un guiño en ese juego es brutal. Zombies sí, se le fue la olla. Kojima se fue de Konami y dijeron, ¿qué hacemos con la franquicia? Pues zombies, que están de moda. Y no lo vendió, vamos, no vendieron ni uno, yo creo.
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
Survival no vale mucho, ¿no? No, la verdad que no.
According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Does that mean they're after you too?
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This fox is still one step ahead of the house.
Que no pintan aquí.
The reason I came to see you today,
Eso pensamos todos, menos Konami, por lo que sea.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We've still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited.
Excites demasiado.
Have a cigar.
Naked Snake.
It's Cuban.
Como un puro, es cubano. Hala, a tu casa.
This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
President Johnson?
President Johnson.
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB-754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion. At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar
en otro lugar
picked up
diferente.
a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert.
Claro.
Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power,
Creo que aquí todavía no.
as great as it once was,
Todavía no le han dejado descapotado a Kennedy.
to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
Pero no debía ser mucho más tarde.
Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard then. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
Volgin, of the Brezhnev faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss. She's a living legend. During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean the Boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The Boss took
Bueno, ha gastado una en un laboratorio, así que todo bien.
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. But serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the Boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected.
Básicamente.
Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
A ver, literalmente nosotros no hemos hecho nada. Hemos llegado, nos han, o sea, hemos sacado al del Monopoly y nos lo han quitado y han reventado eso. O sea, no hemos hecho nada, literalmente.
And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government. You have 1 week. You must catch the boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence?
Yes, preferably something painful.
Que mates a alguien. Busca algún random por ahí y ya está.
The boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which
Está, o sea, se me ha puesto en ahorro de energía la Xbox, ¿sabes? De lo que duran las putas cinemáticas. Es increíble.
It's not too much to ask. Do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
Esto molaría que te pusiesen de fondo, pues no sé, un barranco, un algo, un paisaje, pero lo pixelado ahí. Y de la Xbox, ¿no? A ver, si es que cuando no tocas el control durante mucho rato se baja el brillo.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
Esto me recuerda a las charlas de Ace Combat, pero las charlas de Ace Combat duran literalmente 1 minuto o 2, como mucho.
The higher-ups have decided that you're the only one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
Me voy a ir ya para casa, perfecto.
The KGB has promised
Esto
to
es lo que
lend
está
us one
viendo
of their
Snake.
communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960.
Hasta luego, amor.
Do you remember it?
Yo, vamos, en cuanto termine la cinemática,
Precisely.
me retiro también, o sea que...
Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam
Van a
has
hacer
infiltrated Volgin's ranks.
de infiltrarlo como en el Metal Gear Rising, tío. Es que eso me parece espectacular, tío. La referencia es buenísima,
You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet.
Ahí. Y Carlos, ¿no vivís juntos? Sí.
It's fast. Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south. I'm about to lose it.
Temazo, Qué temazo, muchacho. ¿Se acordarán de haberle puesto freno? Y sí, que viene para acá ya. Infiltrado. Ay, mía, no da una, Infiltrado se ha quedado. Ah, venga, vamos a curarnos, que nos hemos roto las dos piernas, los dos brazos, el cuello, el nepe, nos hemos roto todo, no me jodas. Yendo a esa velocidad, ¿sabes?
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear.
Estoy aquí aplastado contra un árbol. Estoy bien, pero no siento las piernas.
Let's go over your mission objectives one more time.
Otra vez más, por si acaso no te acordabas.
Find out what's happened to the Shagahod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss.
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
I know, but that was the Kremlin's demand.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime
han pedido un
helps us avoid
poco
a
a la
nuclear
fuerza.
exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagahod.
Roger that, Major.
Básicamente las mismas.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
Must have
Yo soy
missed
un
that
asesino,
one.
el otro me la pela, mato y punto, sí.
It's based on a
literal.
true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany.
Tremendo peliculón,
Prisoners
¿eh?
dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan.
But
But I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was
Ah,
finished.
ya. Nos ha gafado la
I watched the
operación.
movie again just to make sure.
He vuelto a ver la
I even
película.
ordered the actual film from the movie company.
yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
Harry, ¿no?
You know, let's just use Zero. Like
Dice,
we've been
además
doing
Cero,
all
que es el perro de Mega
All
Man.
right then. Major Zero it is. We'll start over from square one.
From square zero. My frequency is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate.
Le quitarán
Her
su esta
frequency
médica.
is
Ella no
the
hace
same
nada.
as
Ella
during
está
the
en la
virtuous
radio, pero le
mission.
quitarán la
145.73.
le quitarán la licencia.
She'll
Toma
be
por culo.
recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your
Mr.
KGB
Sigint,
contact,
que
is
es de
waiting
voz,
for you
pero
at the
con otra
abandoned
peluca,
factory
¿sabes?
up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How will I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area's been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear blast. No one else would dare come close. The password is, "Who are the Patriots?" and Lali Lule Lo.
Lali Lulelo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
Mucho
I
ruido.
thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time.
Como ten cuidado, que
You're
esta
now
vez
on
no
an
teníamos
official
presupuesto
mission with the
para
United States
silenciadores porque nos lo hemos gastado en el
It would be
avión.
necessary to make your presence
Claro.
known to a certain extent. To the Khrushchev regime, at the very least.
La luz del hilo.
But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme caution.
Understood. Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
Vamos allá. Pues muy bien. Pues aquí va a quedar Snake Eater. Vamos a ver si podemos llamar por radio. a llamar a paramedic.
Snake, it's so good to...
Me la viene sudando fuerte. Ah, vale, que guardar es otro.
Saving the game, Snake?
Yo diciendo, no me jodas, que me ha dado la charla y no me ha guardado partida.
Hey, Snake, you ever...
Godzilla, hablando de Godzilla. Es la historia de un monstruo llamado Godzilla que tras una prueba nuclear crece mesudamente y siembra el terror en Tokio. Una prueba nuclear, ¿eh? Entonces las Islas Marshall tienen que haber miles de monstruos gigantes. Está guapísimo el Kojima haciendo referencias. Lástima que lo he saltado. Ya no podía activar el texto otra vez. En fin. Pues seguimos mañana con Snake Eater. Muchas gracias por pasaros. Paloma se ha tirado tremenda sub a Sido. Así que Sido ya no tiene anuncios. Todo bien. Muchísimas gracias por pasarte, Sido, también, tío. Un abrazo muy grande. Y para los que lo veáis en el resubido, pues otro para vosotros. Nos vemos, chicos. Adiós.